generally, when these situations happen and when we have changes of this nature, counter-revolutionary forces start to try to get their own way. So what we're hoping to do today is to talk about the future of Bangladesh after the departure of the dictator. And for those speakers who just joined us, I expect more to be joining us in due course. The way we're hoping to run this program is to give each person 5 minutes at the start, and then we after their 5 minutes, we may either ask a question or two straight away, or we may leave the question to go after all the speakers. So we'll just see how we're going, and we're hoping to finish this webinar within 90 minutes. If we finish earlier, that's fine. If we go a little bit longer, that's fine as well. For the speakers who are joining us from Bangladesh, it is almost midnight here in Sydney, so it's late for the Australian participants, but I think it's early evening in Bangladesh, and we timed it so that the participants from Bangladesh would be able to join us at a convenient time. I've got an order of the speakers in front of me, and I was hoping that if Sister Zeren would start first with what she would like to say about the future for Bangladesh, and then we move on to the other participants. It may be that Ivan may not be able to join us. If he doesn't, then we may have a little bit more time for other speakers. But let's just see how we go with time, and we start with Sister Zeren. Welcome, Sister Zeren. Thank you for taking the time out. I know it's late night in Brisbane as well, just like it is in Sydney, and it's great that you can spare the time to participate in this event. Can you please start with your views on what do you think will happen, what needs to be done, and what you may have heard from your family back in Bangladesh?
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. And yes, like you, I believe none of us have idea that within this short time, this regime will be stepped down from the power. And to be very honest, I'm not a political analyst. I'm just a general people of Bangladesh, and I came here as an international student. And in our previous webinar, I have said how I am suffered through the internet interruption and this regime and everything. Even I remember I told you to, if possible, change the theme of the webinar last time, because some of my family members, they are still in Bangladesh and they work into their different capacities. So I was afraid that because of this webinar, I have no idea how they will be impacted. So you can understand how the situation was. So from that point of view, I really hope the coming days, we will be free of this kind of fear. We will not have this kind of fear of expression, fear of freedom. I always talk about this because if you have the fear of, if you have the freedom of expression yourself, freedom of opinion, then so many other problems can be sorted down. And also, in my opinion, in Bangladesh, we have a culture of self-congratulating. And most of the political parties, they actually, in some of their tenure, they actually drown into this kind of self-congratulating approach. So they try to establish themselves and their political party as one-party solution. This should not be happen in future. Whoever will come into the power, whoever will run the country, they should always remember that the self-congratulating thing actually corrupt the whole system. This is one of the things I hope this time we can work on it as a nation. And also I would like to see the youth with their full empowerment, with their full capacity. They will help to run, rebuild, and build the country. And people like us, we will support them whatever capacity we have. because in Bangladesh, it's 28% population is youth. So we cannot do anything or ignore this youth population and their opinion. So I really hope, and as a development professional by profession, so I always respect and believe that in Bangladesh, there are so much thing to do with the youth in terms of their capacity building and their leadership building. So we need to encourage them to engage into this kind of like political activities in a very positive way, and also it's not necessarily that each and everyone come to the politics and like rebuild the country from a political position, not necessarily, but they should be trained up, their leadership should be trained up, encouraged to engage into state mechanism. So this is what I want in the next few days. And in my from my opinion and from my position, from my observation, it's actually too early to say anything what is happening or what will happen in the next few months. So I am not going to say anything like this is I want within these 3 months or 4 months, but these are the some of the things I have in my mind. Like now as a nation, we need to focus into these areas. And also after the like this regime step down, I believe there will be some negative connotation of women leadership. So that also needs to be worked out. So we should not, stereotype some kind of thing that women cannot lead, or there are some negative connotation of women leadership, because in our political landscape, both of the major political parties, they have the women leadership, and we don't have any good experience with them. So this is some area, I think, from a women perspective, I believe we need to work on it, and we need to find out a way. And into this movement, we have seen a lot of women students, they have they kind of took the lead of this movement. So we also need to again go back to my previous point, like the leadership perspective. They should be nurtured in a positive way so that they can use this kind of leadership skill for a betterment of the country. This is something I have in my mind, actually, in a nutshell.
These are very, very, very good points that you've raised, and maybe I will leave the questions or the comments a little bit later. And it's also quite possible for the people who are viewing this event to write questions in the comments field on Facebook, and we'll end up moderating these questions and try to answer as much as we can towards the end after all the presentations have been made. Now, Ivan is still not with us, so I would hope, I'm not sure. Yes, Tajnur, if you would like to start your comments, and I'll be taking notes, and I'm hoping that others will also take notes, and we will be dealing with questions a little bit later on. So if you would kindly give us your opening comments, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening from Bangladesh.
Now, I haven't been introducing the speakers, which is maybe because I'm a bit too excited to have all these wonderful speakers with us, but it would be good if you give a very quick introduction of yourself.
All right. All right. Myself, Tajnur Islam, and I'm working as a reporter, as a journalist in Jamuna Television, as all Bengali already knows about the channel. I hope you all are familiar with this television, Jamuna Television, and I'm currently working here. And it's been more than 3 years here for me. And just a little information, I'm the youngest reporter till now in Jamuna Television. I'm working. Just need to know one question. Just opening comment means there is any specific question to me?
Well, not yet. I just want you to hopefully give us an overview of what's been happening and what your views and hopes about the future will be, and from there I'll pick question. I'll take some of your comments and maybe formulate a question that might be based on those comments. That either that or if the people who are viewing would put a question on Facebook directed to you, then I'll ask you that question if I find it to be relevant to the topic. So if you just give us as a journalist, as somebody who has seen and reported on what is going on, maybe a quick summary and your hopes for the future as well.
All right, thank you so much for giving me the excellent opportunity. As I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not that much, as I'm working for a Bengali medium television channel, so I'm not that much fluent in English. So, pardon me.
That's okay.
But all right, I'm trying to share some experience that I experienced from the field as I'm working very first day of this anti-discrimination movement, that was anti-quota movement in Bangladesh, that was started in July 1st in that means the last month. Um, the protest start from the Dhaka University, as you know, but days after 15th of July, it spreads all over the Bangladesh, because there is some timeline. July 16, when Abu Said shot dead by the police in Rangpur, then the protest spreads all over the Bangladesh. I can mention some key point, that is um, the student were protesting for that means a very demanding on a very legal point, but government, especially the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she was denying every time, and the student all over the country, they came to root to protest and this kind of thing. Um, uh, I was in 18 July when internet shut down in Bangladesh, and 19 July uh, uh, the curfew imposed by the government and army deployed all over the country. Basically, that was the very hardest time what Bangladeshi people faced at that time. Uh, but you have seen the in August 5. Um, August 5, Sheikh Hasina fled from Bangladesh, and then now an interim government as taking the government role, and they are now running the country. But um, there are some challenges for the future of Bangladesh, because as we have seen every time that the young and youth leader, they always defraud from and we didn't see any types of political activities, and we never seen before they are participating in kind of political activities. But uh, this is the time, and we are seeing that two of the advisors, they have been picked up from the protest uh, leaders. Uh, the thing is, this is very important and very significant and a positive change for Bangladeshi political culture, um, in my opinion, because the youth are the major number of the population. So if we can engage the youth in every types of sector, like uh, the major major political decision, I hope, I think they will do better than uh, any other political leaders, as we have seen before. Most of them, they were from business person or business area. And one thing I can mention, that the freedom of press in Bangladesh, in recent years, you have seen that many laws have been implemented over journalists and the television and the other media channels in Bangladesh. But freedom of expression, very um, I mean, one of the fundamental rights in recent days. Uh, th- that was every time that was denied. So I can mention this point, that freedom of press is very important for a country. If the media can disseminate the message from central to root, and it makes connection between the people with the government. But we have seen that uh, people faced in last month, especially in 18th of July, the government shut down the internet, and the country is like the people cannot access any types of information at that time except the television. Although the television channels were monitored, extremely monitored by the ruling party of that time. So if you ask me about the future steps, what to take in the future, I will, of course, I will pressurize, or I will highlight this topic, or highlight this point, that freedom of press, that is very important for the future of Bangladesh. I think I uh, uh, I can add more after listening all of you guys. So thank you so much, and pardon me that my speaking language is not that much good, or not that much expecting level. So thank you so much.
Actually,
Over to you.
Tajnur, this was excellent. Your English is very good. Don't underestimate yourself. That was very, very good, actually. You mentioned that the TV coverage was monitored. From what we've seen about how little people inside Bangladesh know about the protest, would you say that it was also very heavily censored?
Exactly.
Yeah, so, and as you said, it's very important for the freedom of the media, so that the people can find out exactly what's going on. The public have a right to know. The population, the citizenry, they have a right to know what is happening in their country. The next speaker I'd like to invite to say a few words before we get into a general conversation is Durjoy. Durjoy, if you would kindly introduce yourself, and then are you still with us? He might have stepped away from the camera. I can perhaps leave Durjoy a little bit later if he's not there at the moment. I might go to let me see all the names that we have with us. Maybe Tasneem, if you would like to introduce yourself, and you'd need to unmute yourself. If Tasnoor, if you're back, you can unmute yourself as well. If you just and then maybe give us yes. Tasneem, please go ahead. Give us 5 minutes, and then I'll be taking notes, and but you need to unmute yourself first, because you're on mute at the moment.
I'm trying
Yes.
to okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you we all can hear you very clearly now.
Okay.
Can you have it check?
I'm Tasneem Mahboob. I teach at Dhaka University.
Most welcome.
And I would like to thank Jumuna TV, who played a significant role in this movement. If I'm not wrong, they are the one who recorded the killing of Abu Saeed by a policeman, and that really gave the momentum to the movement. But other than Jumuna TV, the other channels' role was quite questionable, and people realized who are with the Hasina regime, and there was a lot of vandalism after Hasina left. So this concept of lack of tolerance, that you like, there is a problem in Bangladesh about our attitude. We cannot agree to disagree. And this is something I think should be practiced, because just because you didn't like the ruling party or Sheikh Hasina, it doesn't automatically give you the power or the permission to vandalize their property and beat up people. So I think media can play a role in raising awareness about this. That's all.
Oh, thank you for that. Look, just on the vandalism and the rioting, we've seen that in a number of countries through the Arab Spring. I'm not sure if people remember the Arab Spring, that one of the attempts to counter the protests and malign the protests, give it a bad name, was that certain influential people encouraged rioters to go and loot and harass people and cause violence. And we're seeing the same in London at the moment. There are certain forces who always try to undermine. If you don't have a strong security apparatus, sometimes these forces may be in fact loyal to the ousted dictator, and that is certainly something that has been witnessed in other countries. It should not happen. The authorities should do everything to stop it, and a first priority for them should be the safety and security of all citizens, especially those who are most vulnerable, those people who feel that they are in a minority. Thank you for that, for those comments, and I fully agree with you that everybody should feel safe in their country. Durjoy, are you back with us? You're able to speak now? Is Durjoy back with us?
I think it's somebody else proxying as Durjoy.
Who is someone proxying as Durjoy?
I think so,
Because I
the
thought
number
he
of
joined us at
participants
first, and then
there is no attendance of Durjoy, but there is somebody who we don't know, Bayan Mahmoud or
no, Bayan
Yep.
Muhammad is actually, Brother Bayan Muhammad is actually the president of the Islamic Council of South Australia, and I asked him if he would join us here, and not because he's the president of the Islamic Council, but because he's a senior figure in the union movement. He's very active in the union movement.
You're welcome.
And
thank you, guys. Hello, everyone.
And
no, I don't think that Durjoy has participated. He's not here anyway.
Yeah, I think we've lost Durjoy. I think he may have been on it first and then he disappeared. Maybe the next person I have in the running order is Brother Muhammad Abdul Awal. Maybe Brother Muhammad, you can introduce yourself first. Tell us about what you do, and then give us your views about where we should go from here, where Bangladesh society can go from after the departure of the dictator.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And thank you so much. Give me such opportunity to talk about my country. Actually, you, me, and all people of the world, they're concerned about our country development, and that is why today we got such a nice program. And thank you so much for all organizers, those who have arranged such a nice program. So first of all, I'm Muhammad Abdul Awal, and I'm currently working in a Supreme Court of Bangladesh as a lawyer. This is my identity, nothing else. And for me, in my opinion, I would like to say something about the future of the Bangladesh after the ending of such a dictatorship regime. One thing from my profession and from my sector, I can give some suggestion. First thing that we can divide two things. One thing is the constitutional amendment, which is really important for this situation, and another is the development of the judicial system. So I would like to talk first about our judicial system, in where we can develop the system. In currently, you know, the number of public prosecutor, assistant public prosecutor, or number of attorney general and assistant attorney general, those who are working in the court, they are appointed by the government on the basis of only political affiliation, political activities, nothing else. No qualification, no criteria, no what would be the qualification to be a public prosecutor. So this is a bad thing for a judicial system. For a good judicial system, you should have some criteria, some qualification, from some requirement to be a public prosecutor. Because, you know, by last times or in future, earlier, you have seen that number of cases in my court which is going on. But those who are victim, the state, they're supposed to help the victim, but those who are victim, they didn't get proper judgment, they which is just, which is proper for the victim. So this is one of the lackings, that when the public prosecutor, he or she is working on behalf of the victim, he is not qualified. He is only, his qualification is that he is a member of a political party. So it is not our last government, it is going on from our independence from 1971. So I would like to recommend that first one thing, that the public prosecutor, attorney general, assistant attorney general, they will be appointed through examination, and they will be appointed permanently. And you know, now the system is temporary. Suppose the government is has come for 5 years, so the public prosecutor is for 5 years, so they don't have any responsibility, any accountability. What he is doing, what will be his how we can judge his action. There is no system to justify his activities. So my clear recommendation is that the public prosecutor should be appointed through examination, and it will be fixed up the permanent, not for the temporary basis. One thing. And another requirement is that that the judges of the lower court, they are appointing through examination. But this is a matter of sorrow that judges of the higher court, like High Court, Supreme Court, High Court Division or Appellate Division, they are appointing only for the basis of the political affiliation. No examination, even though no interview also. Without doing anything, just for political background, just for political affiliation, they are picked up for this such as important matter. So it should be through examination process and through by ensuring the quality. This is two recommendation. And the most important recommendation is that for the judicial system, now our judicial system is under the authority of the law ministry of the government. Though in 2007 we got the separation of the judiciary, we achieved it, but till today our total judicial system under the executive, that is under the Ministry of Law. So it should be separated from the executive, and in reality it should be separated and it should be under the Supreme Court. So by this way we can ensure the justice, we can stop the corruptions, we can stop the so many things, and the people, those who are actually victimized, they will get the justice. This is these are the three recommendations for me for the future of the Bangladesh to develop our judicial system. And now I would like to come to the constitutional amendment. So though it is very difficult now to amend the constitution as per our constitutional law, but it is possible. Most important two things in Article 66, here is mentioned that the Constitution of People of the Bangladesh, article number 66, that the qualification and disqualification of the member of the parliament, though there is some qualifications to be he has to be a citizen of Bangladesh, age should be 25, but there is nothing about the educational qualifications. So how we can ensure the lawmaker, he or she doesn't have any degree, any educational qualification, he is a businessman or he is anything else, but he is representing the country, but he has no educational qualification. So it should be changed. It should be changed. It should be that we should fix up the educational qualification, minimum graduation to be a parliament member, first thing. And another article is Article 70, which is we call floor crossing. The floor crossing is that if I elected by the nomination of any political party, so I should obey all order of the that political party. So in a parliament, if I become the parliament member, my political party is saying something which is against the public interest, which is against my country interest, which is against the general people, but I can't protest. I can disagree. If I disagree, the membership of the parliament, it will be dissolved. So it is very sad. So my recommendation is that two things, that article 66, which is related to qualification, and another is article 70, which is related to floor crossing. It should be abolished. And thank you so much for and if you have any questions regarding more about the our judicial system and our constitutional amendment, and I will ready to answer any questions.
Look, you've made some excellent points, and certainly most successful systems have a clear separation between the executive and the judicial. It's very sad to see that Bangladesh has not evolved to have that type of separation. And to appoint prosecutors and judges not on merit but on political affiliation, that is very, very sad. And that we pray that part of the reform process will be that this will be fixed for a more prosperous Bangladesh. Tajnoor has joined us, and are you still with us, Tajnoor? If you would unmute, and what I've been asking everyone is to introduce themselves and speak for about 5 minutes. So,
we have Tajnoor already spoke. We need Habib to speak now. Habib Rahman.
Okay. Habib, are you with us, Habib? He's also muted. Would you mind?
Can you listen me?
Yeah, we can hear you. If you can start, and then Tajnoor maybe can come after you. If you would kindly give us an introduction, and then give us 5 minutes of your views about where Bangladesh can improve and how it can protect itself possibly from those who would undermine the achievements that you've made since the student protests. Are you there? You've gone mute again. You need to unmute yourself. That's it. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yes. Oh, you've gone on mute again. You've gone mute again. You need to unmute. That's it. Now we should be able to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
This is Habib Rahman. Actually, I'm working as senior reporter, working at Qatar TV. Present situation is, I think, maybe normal, but I feel I want to say some days ago, Bangladesh situation is very critical. I think our media is not a free from our government or another sectors, because our all journalists they joined the or they are joined the uh, uh, political party, and they are divided the two political party. If I think if the journalists or the journalists they don't uh, they are if not to organize the one way, so then our we are not the freedom situation make in Bangladesh. But I think here is a more Bangladeshi people join this program. If I want to speak in Bangla, then I give the right message. If you permission me.
Yeah, that's
please
fine.
go
You can
ahead.
speak in Bangla. That's fine. Some of the people viewing will understand what you're saying, and even if I don't understand it, I think Maqsood can give me a few notes in the chat. He can give us a very quick translation after you finish as well.
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ। অ্যাকচুয়ালি বর্তমানে বাংলাদেশের যে পরিস্থিতি রয়েছে সেটি কিছুটা ধীরে ধীরে ঠিক হচ্ছে, তবে আমি যদি একটু পেছনের দিকে কথা বলি, সেখানে আমরা সাংবাদিক যারা ছিলাম বা সাংবাদিক যারা মাঠে কাজ করেছি, সেখানে আসলে শতভাগ বা যেটি আসলে মানুষের কাছে দেওয়ার কথা, পৌঁছে দেওয়ার কথা যে তথ্যগুলো, সেগুলো দেওয়ার সুযোগ হয়নি। এটি একটি কারণ যে সেখানে বর্তমান যে বাংলাদেশ এর আগে যে সরকার ছিল, আওয়ামী লীগ সরকার, যেটি আসলে বাংলাদেশের প্রত্যেকটি যে মিডিয়া হাউস ছিল সেখানে তারা শক্তি প্রয়োগ করেছে, এবং শক্তি প্রয়োগ করার ক্ষেত্রে দেখা গেছে যে সাংবাদিকরা যা করতে চেয়েছে সেটি করার সুযোগ আসলে তৈরি হয়নি, যার ফলশ্রুতিতে এবং পাশাপাশি এই অবস্থা তৈরি হওয়ার আরেকটি বিষয় যে দীর্ঘ বা টানা সময় একটি দল ক্ষমতায় থাকার পরে সাধারণ মানুষ বা তারা আসলে কি বলতে চায়, সাধারণ মানুষ আসলে কি চায়, সেই জিনিসটা আসলে তারা বুঝতে পারেনি, যে যার ফলশ্রুতিতে দেখা গেছে যে তারা মানুষকে মূল্যায়ন করার যে জায়গাটি সেটি তরুণ সমাজ বা ইয়াং সোসাইটি, তরুণ সমাজ বা সাধারণ যারা মানুষ তাদের মূল্যায়ন করতে পারেনি, যার ফলশ্রুতিতে এই সরকার প্রত্যেকটি সেক্টরে আমরা যেটি দেখেছি, শুধুমাত্র যে মিডিয়া সেক্টর তাই না, প্রত্যেকটি সেক্টরই তাদের নিজের যে পলিটিক্যাল একটি বেল্ট তৈরি করা, অর্থাৎ পলিটিক্যাল মানুষগুলোকে যুক্ত করার কারণে প্রত্যেকটি সেক্টরে আসলে ন্যায় বিচার যে নিশ্চিত হওয়া সেই জিনিসগুলো হয়নি। এরকম অবস্থা আসলে বাংলাদেশে দীর্ঘ কয়েক বছর ধরেই দেখা গেছে। এই অবস্থা থেকে মানুষ যখন এই জায়গা থেকে মানুষ কোনো প্রতিবাদ করতে চেয়েছে, কোনো কথা বলতে চেয়েছে, সেটাও আসলে বলার সুযোগ হয়নি। বিশেষ করে সাংবাদিকদের তো সেই জায়গাটা সেই সাংবাদিকরা তো সেই জায়গায় আসলে কাজ করতেই পারেনি, এমন একটি অবস্থা বাংলাদেশে আসলে কিন্তু তৈরি হয়েছিল। এবং সেই জায়গা থেকে এখন অনেকটা বলা চলে যে বের হয়ে আসার একটি সুযোগ তৈরি হয়েছে, তারপরও কিন্তু এখানে অনেক সংকট বা আহ, সমস্যা থেকে যায়, কারণ যেহেতু বাংলাদেশের দুটি বড় দল এবং একটি যেটিকে একটি আওয়ামী লীগ এবং বিএনপি, এবং এদের বড় একটি জনসমর্থন বাংলাদেশে রয়েছে, কাজেই এই যে পরিস্থিতি তৈরি হলো, এই পরিস্থিতি থেকে এই দুইটি দল যদি শিক্ষা না নেয় বা তাদের ধারণা যদি পাল্টে না যায় যে আসলে দলের চাইতে সেই জায়গায় মানুষের মূল্যায়নটা বেশি করতে হবে, যদি এই জায়গাটি তৈরি না হয় তাহলে কিন্তু আসলে বাংলাদেশের পরিস্থিতি নতুন ভাবে তৈরি হওয়ার সুযোগটি আসলে কম থেকে যায়। তারপরে যেহেতু এখন তরুণ সমাজ, যেটি আমাদের এই বর্তমান যে আন্দোলন হয়েছে, যে অবস্থা যে প্রোটেস্টটি হয়েছে, সেখানে তরুণ সমাজ যুক্ত ছিল, যার ফলশ্রুতিতে এখন তরুণ সমাজও নেতৃত্ব দিচ্ছে, নতুন সরকার তৈরি হয়েছে সেখানে তরুণ সমাজও নেতৃত্ব দিচ্ছে, কাজে সে জায়গায় একটি আশার আলো কিন্তু থাকে, আমরা দেখতে পাই, তবে সেটি আসলে সামনের সময় আমরা দেখতে পাবো। যেটি আসলে বলছিলাম যে এছাড়াও আরেকটি বড় সমস্যা আমাদের জন্য, সাংবাদিকদের জন্য, যে বাংলাদেশের যে সাংবাদিক রয়েছে তারা আসলে দুইটি ভাগে বিভক্ত, আমরা যেটি লক্ষ্য করি। যখন যে সরকার আসে সেই সরকারের সাথেই একটি দল যুক্ত হয়ে যায় সাংবাদিকদের, আরেকটি ডিভাইডেড হয়ে যায়। অর্থাৎ এই যে ডিভাইডেড হয়ে যাওয়ার কারণে সাংবাদিকদের তথ্য দেওয়ার ক্ষেত্রে যে জায়গাটি, সেটি আসলে তৈরি হচ্ছে না। এই জায়গাটি যদি তৈরি না হয়, তাহলে বাংলাদেশের যে সাংবাদিকতা করার যে স্বাধীনতা, যেটি ফ্রিডম সাংবাদিকতা আমরা বলি, সেটি আসলে তৈরি হওয়ার সুযোগ খুবই কম। পাশাপাশি যে সরকারগুলো আসলে এসেছে শুধুমাত্র এই একটি জায়গাতে নয়, এর আগের যে বিষয়গুলো যদি আমরা দেখি, সেই জায়গায় কিন্তু আসলে একই রকম অবস্থা আমরা দেখছি। অর্থাৎ প্রত্যেকটি সরকারই এই মিডিয়াকে তারা আসলে গলা চিপে ধরতে চায়, গলা চিপে ধরতে চায়, যেন সত্য যে কথা সেটি যেন মানুষের কাছে বা সারা বিশ্বের কাছে যেন পৌঁছে না দেওয়া যায়, সেই বিষয়গুলো আসলে প্রত্যেকটি সরকারের ক্ষেত্রে দেখেছি। তবে আওয়ামী লীগ সরকারের এই সময়টিতে আমরা যেটি দেখেছি, সেটি আসলে ভয়াবহ অবস্থায় আমরা দেখেছি। কোন সত্য কথা বলতে গেলে সাংবাদিকদের ভয় ভীতি দেখানো হতো। সাংবাদিকদের বলা চলে যে আইসিটি ল রয়েছে, সেখানে মামলা করা হতো। নানা ধরনের ল তৈরি করে সাংবাদিকদের সত্য প্রকাশের ক্ষেত্রে বড় ধরনের বাধা সৃষ্টি করেছে এই আগের যে সরকার ছিল, আওয়ামী লীগ সরকার। এই জায়গাটিতে রয়েছে। পাশাপাশি আমরা যারা আমরা যারা ফিল্ডে ওয়ার্ক করি, কাজ করি, সেই সাংবাদিকদের জন্য এই পরিস্থিতিগুলো আসলে ভয়াবহ সমস্যা তৈরি করে। কারণ এই সরকারের চাপে আমরা যখন মানুষের কাছে যাই, তখন তারা আমাদেরকে ভুল বোঝে, মাঠের সাংবাদিকদেরকে ভুল বোঝে। এটি কিন্তু তারা বুঝতে চায় না যে আসলে মাঠের যে সাংবাদিক কাজ করে, সেই সাংবাদিকের তথ্যটি শতভাগ প্রকাশ করার সম্পূর্ণ ক্ষমতা কিন্তু মাঠের যে সাংবাদিক, সেই সাংবাদিকের নেই। যে কারণে দেখা যায় যে আমরা সাংবাদিকরা আহত হই, মার খাই, এবং এই যে বড় একটি ছাত্র জনতার যে প্রোটেস্ট আন্দোলন হয়ে গেল বাংলাদেশে, সেখানে কিন্তু কয়েকজন সাংবাদিকও মারা গেছে। এমনকি আমিও কিন্তু এই প্রোটেস্ট যে হয়েছে, সেখানে কিন্তু আমার উপরও হামলা হয়েছে। কাজেই বাংলাদেশের সাংবাদিকদের জন্য যে পরিবেশ, সেই পরিবেশটি খুবই হুমকির, এবং নিরাপত্তা তো আসলে খুব বেশি বলা চলে না। কারণ একটি উদাহরণ যদি দেয়, আমাদের দেশে সাগররুনি হত্যা প্রায় কয়েক বছর হয়ে গেল, সেই সাগররুনি হত্যার বিচার কিন্তু এখন আসলে হচ্ছে না। কাজে বোঝাই যাচ্ছে যে বর্তমান প্রেক্ষাপট, আগের প্রেক্ষাপট, যে প্রেক্ষাপটে আমরা হিসাব করি, সাংবাদিকদের নিরাপত্তা আসলে খুব বেশি বাংলাদেশে এখনো তৈরি হয়নি, সেই পরিবেশটা আসলে তৈরি হয়নি। That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, Brother Maqsood, if you would kindly give us a summary in English, please.
Yeah, I'll give a few highlights of his points. What Habib tried to focus that the media was divided in two platforms. One is the independent journalists, one is the Aomi League patronized journalists. And the independent journalists, those who wanted to do something good, they were not able to do it because of the fear of repression. And obviously, many journalists have been beaten, tortured, and arrested under the ICT and Digital Security Act. And that has been a fear-mongering tool for the government, and that's repressed the media enormously. Habib himself was victim of political beating and those sorts of things. And what he thinks that there should be freedom of the media to work properly, and that's important. And also he emphasizes on the two political parties that if they don't take any lesson from these incidents and the events surrounding the fall of dictator, it would be a pity. He also mentioned about a killing of two journalists for saying truth, Shagor and Rooney. It has been 10 years or even more that no justice has been delivered or no killer has been found or tried yet. So those things need to be answered. And for a society to go forward from here, he believes that we should ensure the freedom of press and freedom of media and freedom of speech.
So,
have I missed anything, Habib?
Does he know who hit him? you said he was a victim of a political beating. Who was responsible for that?
আপনি কি জানেন আপনারা কে মারছিল এই যে কি বলে আন্দোলনের কভার করার সময়?
No, no, I don't know who is the attacked me because there is very so many people there, so I don't understand. I don't know who is the attacked me. I think some
You don't know.
terrorist attacked me, but because of the Bangladeshi student protester, they are not done attack the infrastructure or other people. I think so.
Yeah. He can't specify any. It was a mass attack or something like that.
Yeah, look, that's a terrible thing to happen, and we've seen what happened to a lot of journalists who are covering the genocide in Gaza, that Israel targeted them first, and usually when you have an oppressive regime, the first thing they try to do is stop the flow of information. They don't want people to report what they're doing, how they're suppressing the people, and sometimes you don't know who's responsible and who's not. But let's hope that those responsible will be caught and brought to justice. I know from what Brother Muhammad said is that the justice is hard to find because the judges in the higher courts are political appointees and the prosecutors are political appointees. But I think this must change, and people have seen that the unrest and the unhappiness in the population, that this will definitely bring about some changes, and generally these changes will be more effective and more substantial when there are people who are pressing for them, and it can start with one person's movement that can flow on, or it can be, say, a few people getting together and demanding that these changes take place. I think that generally, if you don't pursue your rights, then you don't get them. And let's hope that now with the interim government, that the reporters specifically and in particular would be able to tell the public what has happened, and hopefully get the public to act on it. It's really sad to see that this has been happening in Bangladesh. How can we celebrate the independence of a nation when it just falls under the hands of an oppressive regime or a dictatorial regime? The next speaker is from Paris, France, and his name is Brother Abu Zubair. If you can introduce yourself and then give us your 5 minutes, and then after you will be Maqsood, and then we'll go into a general conversation, inshallah.
Thank you so much for having me here. And I'm really honored and privileged to be part of this program today. Before I start, can I ask you one question, Brother
Sure.
Todd? So, why you have taken this initiative to hold this podcast? Is that you are believing that Bangladesh is an Islamic country, or majority of our population is Muslim? That's why you have taken responsibility as a Muslim brother?
Look, as a Muslim brother, I care for all humanity, not just for people who are Muslim. And Brother Maqsood and myself have been involved in activism for the rights of all people, regardless of whether they are religious or not religious, Muslim or not Muslim. We care
So
about humanity.
have you taken any initiative inside India, in Seven Sisters and other places where
Of course,
human rights is in danger over there?
Yeah, of
And
course.
also in China and other part of the world.
Yes, of
So
course.
I'm advising you and suggesting you, please do something from your part.
Yes.
for the betterment of the humanity across the world, not for only for the Muslims. So
No, of
thank
course,
you
of
for
course.
giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, no, we agree with you. We totally agree with you, 100%.
Okay, thank you so much. And I don't want to explain much more information which is already covered by our fellow speakers here. And here we have one of our supporter and one of our inspiration during the student movement. Tasnim Shiraz Mahbub is there. So I know her and we must respect her because during the student movement, and she is also Dhaka University professor and activist and researcher. She had given all support to the students to came out from their home and took over the street and demonstrate. So we must salute her that this is a great opportunity for us that she is here. Tasneem
Yes,
Shiraz
thank
Mahmood.
you. We're very grateful that she could join us, and
Yeah, and
thank you,
also
sister.
I must express my sincere thanks to the media, the Jomuna television, and also other media here. So
Ekatur.
it is actually we need to recognize the peoples who were there. Now many peoples are claiming that they were there and they are part of the demonstration and the protest, and this is the sector of opportunities. They are coming from their disguise and their mask. So we'll have to think of that issue as well. So as we know that Sheikh Hasina, the dictator, murderer, and fascist, she resigned and fled to her friendly state of India first. And after her resignation, an interim government led by Chief Advisor Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus taken the authority right now, and the political situations in Bangladesh is dramatically reshaped. And there are some kind of analysis that we must think of that issues. The first is the interim government led by the Muhammad Yunus, how he will run the country. And it is important because this government is not the political or elected government by the peoples. This government is actually formed by the revolution. So this government has legitimacy of revolutions to do something for the nations right now. And Dr. Muhammad Yunus is the right choice right now because, we need to balance our international community and also the inside factors is there. So stabilizing efforts and a global approach might focus on stabilizing the country and restoring the public orders and confidence. So it is more important work for this government. And economic reform is also one of the vital activities of this government because, the remittance and our reserve is not up to the satisfaction so that we can continuously purchase our different need and our demand. So fulfill our demand. So, and also this government have a responsibility of to bring different democratic process. So the interim government may focus on the preparing for the free and fair elections, and I believe that Yunus' leadership could ensure that electoral process should be transparent, inclusive, and free from the violence and attracting international support and other legitimacy. So here is the important point. inside Bangladesh, the political parties are now divided. Still, they are not united. There are two type of the political power division. The first is the Awami League led the fascist political parties and led by the Awami League, and with them there are some other parties like Jatiyo parties and other Jasod and other parties is there. They are all the fascist parties, and they supported Sheikh Hasina's rule. And also, it is important within the Awami League, already the Awami Leaguers are divided in many opinions. And inside Awami League, it might possible to attempt coup inside the Awami League as well. So it is also the important part of our developing the political changes. So, and also it is possible to reclaim or attempt reconciliations inside the Awami League, and some part of the people from the Awami League can join or support interim government as well. So let's see what happens next. But still, we are hopeful that this government will take some measures and initiatives firmly, effectively, so that peoples will get democracy very soon. And the installation process of the democracy is a little complex. So we are just can wait for now, and hoping for the best solution in by taking some efforts by the governments. And also it is responsibility of the peoples of Bangladesh to regain their energy, power, that if any political movement or initiated by this caretaker or interim government, that the democracy will be in danger again. So people should prepare themselves to take responsibility and restore our country again. Thank you.
Brother Zubair, you mentioned that the current leader, interim leader, is the right person for the job. Maybe for the benefit of the viewers, if you could tell us how the interim government was chosen, and a little bit more about the people who were there, and maybe...
So as you know, the Dr. Muhammad Yunus, a globally respected figure and Nobel laureate. And he is one of the key person who can communicate with the different political leaders across the world. He has access to each and every government in the world. Even though in Australia, he can call your president or prime minister, so they can allow him to talk. So this is the opportunity of communication. And let the other part of the world to know that we are not the fundamentalist, we are not the people of so-called Islamist, but we respect Islam because 90% of our population are worshipping, and also they believe in one religion, and we are very moderate and modern. So this is the branding. New branding should be there. So we need to brand our country first. Security is one concern. And also the Indian influence, political influence of India is also a vital point. So if the India always influence, you might know that Indian so-called media propaganda is there. They are trying to put us in different problematic situations to emphasize our political matter, and they are trying to provoke our, the minorities to do something which is provocative, so that they can portray our country to the other part of the world or Western world, that this country is an Islamist country, and this country has some terrorists, and you should act accordingly because they have some problem inside. This is the religious matter. We are protesting this part because in Bangladesh there might have some fundamentalist group, but they are very much marginalized. They are not focused. So almost 90% of our peoples are peaceful, democratic, creative, progressive. At the same time, they respect religion. So that's why I'm feeling that the balance should be there, that Dr. Muhammad Yunus has that kind of opportunity and ability to rebranding Bangladesh and also protecting from the neighbors' influence inside the Bangladesh as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that explanation. I'd like to invite Brother Maqsood again to give his own introduction and give us a few minutes of his insight. Brother Maqsood.
In terms of my introduction, I think half of my CV is already on the flyer. However, I'd like to say that I'm a human rights worker. I work on across various platforms, and I'm also an international aid and development consultant. So with that portfolio, I come to know many political powers and conflict-driven countries, those who are aspiring to develop further and to do something with them. So as Bangladesh is my birth country, my home country, I have two citizenship. I'm an Australian and I'm also a Bangladeshi. I proudly say that I'm a Bangladeshi-born Australian. So from that point of view, I love Bangladesh, of course, as my birth country and my country of original citizenship. And I observed the situation, what's going on. We had a similar forum a couple of weeks ago, I think. And the difference between two forums I have been observing. In the last forum, we had the problem that what we are talking and what we are discussing, we had to control, we have to control our time. But today, we are free to say what we actually feel about our country, what we feel about our politics, what we feel our country should be. And thanks to the students, those who initiated this mass movement and make it happen. Our political parties have been trying to make a difference or, make a change in the country over the years, but they were not successful. But students have been successful because everybody trusted them, because everybody came out of their home and never been afraid to get a bullet and sacrifice their life. This is something that we, the elder generation, and every Bangladeshi have something to learn from this. And every Bangladeshi, I think, has a responsibility now to act accordingly to make a better Bangladesh. I think at the moment, post-movement, the country is going to the right direction. Country is running to the right direction. I believe so. Choosing Professor Yunus as the head of the government was the right thing. And I believe he has the capacity to achieve anything for Bangladesh. So that's where I'm satisfied. And with the group of advisors we have, I would say that not everyone is perfect. We, the human being, no one is perfect in the world. So there should be limited capacity, limited actions, limited things from his advisors, but still, we have to make everyone, as he is a good people's manager, he will probably be able to achieve the desired victory with the people he has. This is all I want to talk about the movement, but I have some dreams. I'm always a positive person. I always see positivity in everything, every situation. There, I think I would say a Bengali phrase that "Ami Jahannamer agune boshiya hashi pushper hashi." It means it's a line from our national poet that even in the Jahannam or the hell, I'm sitting down, but I smile. So that kind of positivity I have. And this is probably a situation I observed the 1990 revolution when Bangladesh ousted Hussein Mohammad Ershad and achieved democracy at that time. But we were young. We haven't had influence on the government or how the country changed. But we missed an opportunity at that time to achieve a new Bangladesh and to make a perfect Bangladesh. I think in this session today, we have particularly three people, two journalists, one lawyer. All they are young, and they have aspiration to build a new Bangladesh, which will shine in the world as a bright example for the entire world. The number of lives has gone in this movement. Of course, that is very sad and unfortunate, but best thing is that we have a new government, and now we have the opportunity to do enormous things we can do. From here, we can really build a perfect Bangladesh. I have some plans. I always rely on the younger generation. In every speech, every talk I have given in my life, I think in every talk and every speech, I have emphasis on the younger generation that they can do many things. Even in Australia, the number of high-profile conferences I organized, every time I gave emphasis to the younger generation, younger Australians, that they are the backbone of the nation. So in Bangladesh, we are seeing the same thing. The younger generation have achieved a victory and shaped this victory to an ideal Bangladesh is the responsibility of every Bangladeshi, no matter where they are, to support and reshape this new Bangladesh. I particularly think a few things is very important for Bangladesh at this moment. Number one is judiciary. Fixing the judiciary, law and order is very important. I have been to Bangladesh judiciary on number of occasions, and amount of corruption, favored judgment, and the extremely corrupt magistrate, judges, and other staff of the judiciary actually surprised me. Bangladeshi police have reached into an extreme level of corruption. And just today, I was listening to Bangladeshi Home Affairs advisor. He was saying that the kind of weapons given to the police, it should never been given to, because police is for maintaining law and order for the people. Police is not there to fight with an enemy. So the military weapons have been given to the police to fight who? Its own people. And the corruption, bribery, and all those things reached into a highest level of Bangladeshi police. That has to be addressed and clean up police immediately. Another important thing which I would like to take part in, that to maintain a strong cooperation and relationship with the people earning foreign currency for Bangladesh. Number of people, I think at the moment we have 1.5 crore. What is this? 15 million? 15 million Bangladeshi people living overseas. And these 15 million people contributing money to its development. And these people have a huge stake on where the country going to. But government has never given any attention onto these people, that what their future, how they will be dealt with. I know particular instances. I have recently been in Malaysia, investigated on the syndicate of the Bangladeshi workers working there. These syndicates are actually patronized by the people sitting down in the Bangladeshi embassy and high commissions. Bangladeshi embassies and the people involved in the Bureau of Manpower, they are so competent, they don't even pay enough attention to read the terms and conditions, under what terms and conditions we're sending these Bangladeshi citizens, our fellow citizens, to work in another country. As a result, in Middle Eastern countries, number of Arab countries, and also countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Bangladeshi workers are being treated in a very bad manner. I think the Yunus government have first and foremost responsibility to address this issue. They know the pain of the workers. I have seen that number of times he was traveling through airports. He met the Bangladeshi workers working in the airport as a cleaner or something. He stood by them and take pictures with them. I don't think that's enough. Not only taking pictures, but he really need to ask his Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as Ministry of Manpower to look into the contracts and how, under what circumstances we are sending people to work other countries and how much our workers' interest being addressed. So this is a very important thing. And if our country want to have a sustainable future, I think this is a sector government need to start working immediately, revise all the contracts we have with every countries, and recall all these diplomats, those who have been involved with, bad practices, and fix this entire, clean up this entire sector. I think we also need to mobilize the workers contributing money to Bangladesh. In this movement, it was important the wage earners stop contributing or sending money to Bangladesh through proper channel, and government's fund become reach to the zero very quickly. And the minister at that time and Prime Minister herself at that time was begging to the workers, Bangladeshi workers overseas, that please do send your money through the banks. Otherwise, country is going to face disaster. They didn't say that, but they said that they need that money. So I think the people, Bangladeshi people, those who are working overseas, they should probably focus on to that we could probably make the same revelation again, that if we don't get proper treatment by the Bangladeshi government. I also think that the movement of the young people, those who have been involved with them, probably employing them into the various sectors, including military, could be a good thing for Bangladesh, because these people are clean. They have no aspiration for making country corrupt. They all fired with a aspiration that they want to make a clean Bangladesh. These people need to be used, because the number of people favored by Awami League and other parties have been recruited in the public service, judiciary, police, and other forces. These need to be addressed. This need to be addressed, and these young people, those who have been led this movement, they need to be, get involved in the process, how the country is being run. Other thing, I think that we, those who are living overseas in various countries, especially the Western nations, Australia, United States, and other nations, we could probably start a movement, and along with the Bangladeshi brothers and sisters, those who are with us, that we want to help and rebuild Bangladesh as an ideal Bangladesh. And I think the people, those who I really admire, like Mohammed, like Taznur, like other people, like Habib, they are really inspiration for us, because they are, despite lots of adversaries, they have been trying within their capacity to change the country, do something, make a difference. And this spirit has to be honored. If you don't honor this little spirit from the young Bangladeshis, are actually going to hell. This is the simple thing I want to say. We have enough of, doctors, experts, and all these kind of things. We probably need those things, keep those things aside for the moment, listen to the young people, and let's fix Bangladesh. That's all I want to say.
Thank you for that, Brother Maqsood. There was a lot in your comments and a lot of food for thought. We would all love to see Bangladesh to become a prosperous country where the citizens can enjoy freedoms, hopefully better freedoms than we have even in Australia. Even though we've got good freedoms here, we would love to see that Bangladesh can be a successful and prosperous country. For a long time, a lot of people I would talk to about Bangladesh, they were worried that under the dictatorial regime that it would become a failed state. And I think the students moved before it became too late. Let's hope that this time there will be a difference. Before I turn this event into a general conversation, I just want to hear a few words from Brother Bayan Muhammad, especially with his experience in the union movement in Australia. Brother Bayan, if you would like to say a few words. Brother Bayan is from Eritrea. Maybe you can introduce yourself first and then say why you left Eritrea and what happens if the people don't actually make sacrifices to fix their country.
First of all, I would like to say Assalamu alaikum. I like the word Assalamu alaikum. In my nature, even whenever I do a speech with Australian, which are, union-related activity, I would always say Assalamu alaikum. And the reason is that it's always about peace. And they know it. So it's about peace. It doesn't mean because we are all Muslims, whatever. Peace to everyone. Peace is actually the stuff that we always pursue in life. Peace, whether in all aspects of it. Secondly, of course, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bayan Ali Muhammad. I'm from Eritrea. As they say, I'm from Northeast Africa. I've been in Australia 26 years. I've been from the first time I came to Australia as a worker. I was involved with the union and workers' rights. It's part of my nature. And now I'm a very active unionist. When I talk about union, we say always it's about global justice and, of course, equality and rights. I believe Bangladesh, Brother Maqsood was talking about the Bangladesh in diaspora, but to be honest with him, the kind of Bangladesh that we have in Australia, they are highly educated, they are peaceful, and they are beautiful people. So there is nothing you could say about, there is nothing wrong you could say about the Bangladesh in general. I don't know how about your, what do you call the experience in other countries, but in Australia, they are highly regarded. So what I would like to say is in general, now the world is very, what you call, more like a small village, and it is interconnected. Whatever happens in India will have an impact in Bangladesh. What happens in Bangladesh will have an impact to the neighboring country. At the end of the day, there is also a global control. So meaning is that we do care about Bangladesh because it is not all about Bangladesh. Everywhere in the world, it is interconnected. So my comment here is from union point of view, we discuss different kinds of ideology, which is always we care about the masses, about the proletariat, we care about the workers. So I would like to understand now, given the, what do you call, the system that has been dismantled, has been dismantled by the students. If you go to the Bolshevik Revolution, it was more by the, what do you call, workers. If you go to the French Revolution, it was more about the masses. At the end of the day, everything was about injustice. But if I go back to Bangladesh, which it matters now, because in the union we discuss about what's happening in Bangladesh. It's part of the global issue. So I'm asking, it's beautiful, this protest or this, what do you call, uprising, it was led by the students, which is very, very promising in a way. But at the same time, my question is, how do you guarantee me, for example, now, is this a revolution or an uprising? That's what I would like to know, because if it has an uprising, then you're going to come up again with some sort of government. How do you guarantee that there is not going to be corruption? That's the situation in India. And the worst aspect in whatever in Pakistan. Look, their surrounding nations. Where is the guarantee this revolution not to be stolen? Although it is beautiful in a way, it is instigated by students. So to my Bangladeshi brothers, I'm just asking them, is it going to be another what you call uprising like that happened in the 90s? And at the end of the day, as Brother Mosul said, they didn't have the opportunity to make it right. So now the way how we look, what kind of change are we looking? And you cannot deal with Bangladesh with what do you call what is happening in Bangladesh by what do you call isolating it from global changes that's happening. So yeah, I would like to see comments. It is very, very interesting for what's happening in Bangladesh. It's a message for yes, thank you guys. That's my comment. I mean,
So maybe
revolution or uprising.
Brother Tajnur, if you'd like to answer that question from Brother Bayan, do you have any comments you'd like to make or in relation to that question?
Sorry,
is it an
what was the
uprising?
question?
Is it a student movement? Is it just protests? Is it an uprising? How do we protect it? How do you make sure that it actually reaps the results that the desired results that it's looking that the students were hoping to achieve? Can you answer that question?
Maqsood bhai, can you please?
হ্যাঁ, এটা কি 90 সালের নির্বাচনের 90 সালের আন্দোলনের মতো আন্দোলনের পরে যেমন আমরা ব্যর্থ হইলাম, এই আন্দোলন কি আবার ব্যর্থ হবে কিনা?
তাহলে মকসুদ ভাই আমি এই দফা একটু তাহলে বাংলায় বলি।
হ্যাঁ,
আচ্ছা, ইতিহাসের যেহেতু কনটেক্সটে কথাটা এসছে, দেখুন 90-এর যেই আন্দোলনটা ছিল সেটা কিন্তু একটা একদম প্রতিষ্ঠিত স্বৈরাচারের বিরুদ্ধে, যিনি আর্মি থেকে সরাসরি দায়িত্ব নিয়ে উনি কোনোভাবেই নির্বাচিত ছিলেন না, তার বিরুদ্ধে বেশ 10 বছরের একটা ধাক্কার পর। দেখুন কনটেক্সট আলাদা। কনটেক্সট বলতে আমি বলছি সময়টার কথা বলছি, তখনকার প্রেক্ষাপট, তখনকার আর্থসামাজিক প্রেক্ষাপট, এখন বাংলাদেশের যে অবস্থান, এখন বাংলাদেশ গার্মেন্টস থেকে যে উপার্জন করছে, রেমিটেন্স থেকে যে উপার্জন করছে, বাংলাদেশের এখন ডেভেলপমেন্টের উন্নয়নের যেই ধারাবাহিকতা, মানে আমি কিন্তু সরকারকে ক্রেডিট দিচ্ছি না, মানে তো উন্নয়নকে আমি মূলত একটা স্রোতের সঙ্গে তুলনা করি। আসলে পৃথিবী যেই মুহূর্তে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে, সেই মুহূর্তে আসলে বাংলাদেশের মতো একটা দেশ এককভাবে পিছিয়ে পড়ার আসলে সুযোগ নেই, কারণ ওই যে গ্লোবালাইজেশনের ওই সুবিধাটুকু আমরা অন্তত পক্ষে পেয়েছি থার্ড ওয়ার্ল্ড কান্ট্রি বলা হলো। সেই জায়গা থেকে কনটেক্সটটা খুব ভিন্ন, মানে প্রেক্ষাপটটা ভিন্ন, সময়টা ভিন্ন, এবং যে জেনারেশন, সেই জেনারেশনের মধ্যে একটা বিশাল রকমের তফাৎ আছে। আমরা বাংলাদেশে এই প্রজন্মকে বারবার করে বলছিলাম যে এই প্রজন্ম হচ্ছে রাজনীতি বিমুখ একটা প্রজন্ম, যারা কোনোভাবেই রাজনীতিকে পছন্দ করে না। কিন্তু দেখুন, এই আই হেট পলিটিক্স লেখা প্রজন্ম একটা স্বৈর শাসককে পদত্যাগ করতে বাধ্য করেছে। এটা হলো ইতিহাসের একটা খুব চমৎকার ঘটনা। এবং শুধুমাত্র বাংলাদেশ না, এইরকম থার্ড ওয়ার্ল্ড কান্ট্রি থেকে শুরু করে পৃথিবীর অন্যান্য যেই দেশগুলোতে এরকম জাতিসত্তা নিয়ে কিংবা নিজস্বতা নিয়ে যে আন্দোলনগুলো বিভিন্ন জায়গাতে ছোট ছোট ভাবে হচ্ছে, এবং এই উদাহরণটা এখন পৃথিবীব্যাপী ছড়িয়ে যাবে। সেই জায়গা থেকে এখন হ্যাঁ, প্রশ্নের জায়গাটা হচ্ছে যে সেটা 90s যেমন করে ফেল করেছে, সেই একই রিপিটেশন এবার হবে কিনা। আমি অন্ততপক্ষে আশা করতে চাই সেই ফেলটা হবে না, কারণ তখন আসলে তরুণদেরকে সংযুক্ত করা হয় না, এঙ্গেজ করা হয় না। এই দফায় সেই জায়গাতে একটা বড় রকমের পরিবর্তন আছে, যেখানে কিনা 17 জন অ্যাডভাইজার, এই প্রধান উপদেষ্টা সহ যে বাকি যে 16 জন উপদেষ্টা, তার মধ্যে 2 জন একেবারে তরুণ নেতৃত্বকে সামনে নেওয়া হয়েছে। এবং আমার যতদূর মনে হচ্ছে যে এই তরুণ নেতৃত্বের হাত ধরে পরবর্তী সময়ে একটা অ্যালায়েন্স গঠন হবে, এবং তার পরবর্তী সময়ে একটা নির্বাচন দেওয়া হলেও সেই নির্বাচনে তরুণদের একটা বিশাল পরিমাণ অংশগ্রহণ থাকবে। তা আমি আশা করতে চাই যে পরবর্তী সময়ে ওই 90-এর রেফারেন্সটাকে না নিয়ে আমি মূলত 2024 সালেই থাকতে চাই, এবং পরবর্তী কি হয় সেই বিষয়গুলো দেখতে চাই। মাকসুদ ভাই একটু কম্পাইল করে দিবেন প্লিজ, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
What he is trying to say that 90s revolution and 21st revolution is different. 90s revolution was against a military dictator. He has no legitimacy, or the elections he has held, nothing has any legitimacy whatsoever. People fought against him and people rise into democracy. That was the context of 1990, and that at that time the younger generation was not involved the way they are involved today. The generation today, those whose motto is "I hate politics," they are the one got involved in politics, and they are all fired up to change the nation. So he wholeheartedly believes that because it is a different context, and because the younger generation is involved, and there is no chances that this movement will be failed. Anything else?
Thank you, Maksud bhai. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we finished the presentations, and maybe if any of the speakers would like to ask questions of one another, if you would, there's a feature in Zoom where you can put a hand up, and then I will pick the first person who put their hand up, and then they can ask a question of any of the other speakers if they like. Does anybody want to ask any of the speakers a question? Nobody has a question for any of the speakers. I just want to make an apology that until Brother Mahbubur told me, I didn't realize that I set the video to friends only, to the live streaming. I fixed that, so now it's open to the public. Anybody can go in and view this event now. They don't have to be friends or connected. So I apologize for that. That was something that I forgot to fix at the start of the event. What we'll do after this is finished as well is that I will download it and put it on YouTube, and I'll share the link so that you can use it. I noticed one person was also recording the event, which is fine. Anyone is free to record, and because it's on Facebook, if you have the right software, you can download it as well, but it won't be the same quality as recording through Zoom. Brother Zubair said something that is very important. I think he's left that we don't care about Bangladesh just because we're Muslim or because the majority of the people are Muslim. We care about Bangladesh because it's not just Muslims, it's fellow human beings who are suffering. And Brother Bayan said something that is very important. The people from Bangladesh in Australia that I know, that I've worked with over the years, well-educated people. They love education. They love to work hard. They love their families, and they love to get a very good education for their families. I've found people from Bangladesh who are in Australia to be generous with their time, and just overall generous of spirit. And in the freedom of Australia, I found many actually embracing more aspects of their faith because they have the freedom to do so in Australia. I've also found that a lot of people from Bangladesh are quick to establish places for the community to get together. Now, the reason I say all this is that if these minds were not forced to flee their country, either for economic reasons or for other reasons, I could just imagine how much they can contribute to Bangladesh to make Bangladesh a far more prosperous country. Now, this is something that is a combination between a brain drain and a business drain. So the country is being drained of all these minds that can contribute to it. And of course, other nations benefit. Good for Australia that it's taken so many people, industrious, hardworking people from Bangladesh. But it's bad for Bangladesh because Bangladesh lost all these skillful people and all these minds. And I think this is something that the people who are still living in Bangladesh can work on. Human resources are the most valuable resources for any country. Whether they're educated or not educated, we need people with a very wide variety of skills. If they're not after an academic education, maybe they can learn a trade. If we put the effort to make sure that everybody in our nation can can learn to become productive and can learn to contribute, I think we would have the best situation. I know look, some of the people who were with us had to leave for other things. If anybody needs to leave, that's fine. I would thank you very much for being with us, and perhaps we can have another meeting in the future. Maybe we can revisit to see where Bangladesh is at a little bit down the track. And so anybody who wants because we've been going for more than 90 minutes. So Brother Habibul, if you have other things to do,
can I just add something before Habib goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's gone.
I think we would not think this as anything religious, or our contribution to this or organizing this is no way it is to siding religion or anything. It is, we are secular. We want to, I mean, if Bangladesh was a majority Hindu country and this thing would have happened in Bangladesh, we would have still spoke up from Australia. This is what is me. And the other thing is that we must not underestimate the contribution of the religious people from Bangladesh. Muslim people, there are lots of people from different madrasas and Islamic institutions contributed to this movement enormously. Without their contribution, this would not have been successful. And the movement in India and other countries and in our country, the difference is in India, when a riot happens, people go to break the mosque. And Babri Mosque was, completely demolished. And those sorts of things happen. But here, our madrasa students and the scholars from madrasa, they guarded all the mandis and prevent any sorts of religious violence shouldn't be occurred. This is the difference, and I admire our younger generation that they're really good people. They know how to differentiate what is good, what is bad. And they did the right thing, and for that they should be applauded. And I also would like to urge my younger generation and the brothers and sisters, those who have ran this movement, to continue with struggle for justice and continue quest for building a better Bangladesh. And it is possible. We'll continue to speak up. We'll continue to call you. Brother, please come and join with us. Let's talk and let's see what we can do. It will be continued. This is just the beginning. This is not the end. On that note, I want to thank you all.
Yes, thank you all indeed. Anybody would like to make any final comment or ask a question before we close this event? Look, we wish Bangladesh and the people of Bangladesh all the best, and inshallah we will be praying for Bangladesh, and especially praying that foreign influence would not be able to destabilize this great achievement that the people of Bangladesh have made. And I think this is something that many other nations can learn from. We support freedom for the people all over the world. We support human rights and human dignity. This is not about religion, but we saw a lot of persecution of religious people by the Hasina government, and we pray that this will not happen again. People should not be persecuted on the basis of their faith or on any other basis whatsoever. I hope that the student movement, especially, and the legal fraternity in Bangladesh can help fix the judicial system. Judges should always be selected on the basis of integrity, merit, qualifications. not political affiliations. Prosecutors, likewise, should also be people who are qualified. It's very sad when you see that judges make political decisions instead of ruling on the basis of justice. Courts all over the world tend to have a certain level of political inclinations, and sometimes I mean, we saw even in the United States when Trump was in power how he selected judges. That this type of appointment can happen, but at least the judges in those countries that are selected are qualified lawyers who understand the law, and in those countries there are systems of appeal, and a judge's decision can be overturned. And I know it's not easy, and we might think that we're celebrating a victory now, but the victory has to be protected. If you don't protect it, you will lose it. It's just a lesson from all over the world. If we don't protect what we have won so far in Bangladesh, others will lose it. And I think this might sound a little bit simplistic, but anyone who's read George Orwell's Animal Farm, if we're not vigilant, some other animal will take over and play the part of the dictator again. Thank you all very much, and I'm very grateful that you stayed with us for all this time. May God bless you all, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.